Hey folks, we got a new bat from Dirty South. This bat's actually called the Swag, which we've been hitting with here for the last few weeks, and we're big fans. If you guys don't know Dirty South, they're based out of Atlanta, Georgia, as you can tell by the picture on the bat. At least I think that's Atlanta, Georgia. That's the state, something like that. They make one-piece composite bats, a lot like, if you're trying to compare it to a different bat, a lot like the Combat line, which is really just built off these one-piece composite bats with these monster oversized barrels, and just real good consistency through the bat, and especially through the barrel. If you talk to the Dirty South folks, their story, and I think it's a legitimate one. Their stories are trying to create similar compression along all parts of the barrel, so it's not this sort of like a bell curve, if that makes sense, like a lot of bats may do, where the best compression is maybe right in the middle of the barrel. That they're getting the same compression numbers as here in the taper as they are at the very end. There's still some debate out there as to what compression actually means by way of actual performance. BPF standards that they measure these bats off of are actually done, 1.15 BPF standards. Don't take into account actual compression, at least compression numbers. Sometimes when you look at some softball bats and things, they do take compression to see if a bat has been rolled or shaved. But so it's hard to sort of equate those two things because there's some material in there. But regardless, I think there's some truth to the fact that if you have consistency in the barrel, you don't necessarily have a sweet spot. Some bats would probably claim that their sweet spot is maybe in the middle of their barrel, maybe this big. Well, Dirty South's claim to fame is that they have consistency through the barrel, and so they actually have the same sort of power generated here as would be here. So they're referring to it as a sweet barrel, which I actually like. I like that story. I think it works a lot. It makes a lot of sense. They also have this unique end cap, which is a sort of a tamper-proof end cap, which would be interesting to see if at some point USAA or USSSA or Little League comes out and requires these kinds of things at some point. But yeah, this is the one we got in the background. That's the War. So that's the one that they came out with in 2015. I guess the Swag came out in 2015 as well. We don't expect Dirty South to have sort of the annual release that all these other bat companies do, but which is pretty common for smaller bat companies. So yeah, that's it. Let's switch out, True, and let's try the Swag. This is the Dirty South War Drop 8. This one's the Dirty South Swag Drop 10. The bat does, at least for now, unfortunately, only comes in a Drop 10 and a Drop 12. So those travel ball players looking for the Drop 8 or a Drop 5, unfortunately, they're not going to have it. But the barrel on the Swag, the white one, versus the War, the barrel's longer. We measured it out. It's a little over an inch, and kind of depending on what size you're comparing it to, but you definitely get more barrel out of that, which I think, generally speaking, that means kids tend to like it more. So because you have more opportunity to square the ball up. But by way of performance, I mean, these bats are legit, and I know you probably may have never heard of these things or never seen them, but they're legit, and frankly, there's a lot of legit bats out there. I think some of the big brand name companies make legit bats too, but these guys, if you're up for a one-piece composite bat, and you're okay with maybe some hand sting that comes in that, you get tons of power out of these bats. I mean, Combat has proven that model for a long time. These are, those are our Canadian friends. This is an American-made bat. It's a full composite. It's a one-piece composite. What do you think, True?
I like it.
You like that? Let's
I like the pop on it.
Yeah, it feels solid. The grips are a little bit different on the War and the Swag. Now, I think you can customize, or you can get your own grip. And I think you can kind of see the difference. The blue one, or the Swag, actually has it just has a little more cushion. The War's grip is not that. It's not ones that my boys necessarily prefer. The red grip here, just a little slick and a little hard. I don't know if they've changed that, because we've had this bat for a while. But again, grips are almost a silly reason to not buy something. You can always change out the grip. I mean, getting a lizard skin or even Dirty South, DSB, they make a grip called DSB grips. They have a few on their site too if you want to, sort of stay with the brand. But isn't that right, True? This one, the blue one, has a little more cushion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. Which grip you like better?
I like the Swags better.
Why is that?
I like the cushion under my hand, especially when it's cold and you like sting one.
Yeah.
It doesn't sting as bad when you have the cushion under it.
Yeah, that's a fair concern, especially some of us cold weather baseball folks. All right, let's see you jack a couple here, and we'll send it off. This is the drop 10. This is the 30-20.